When creating procedural textures that rely on the segment by connectivity node to create masks, you can run into a particular issue. So I wanted to look at what that issue is and how we can get around that. So I'm going to set up a situation here that is something that you wouldn't necessarily, use, or it's like not a production scenario that you'd run into because it showcases what's happening very well. And then I'm going to show an example of where this would happen in an actual like project. So I'm going to start off by doing an SDF shape node followed by an SDF to mono. And let's just set this down here to 5.576. And then let's do a scatter shapes here. Set this to be our stamp, and then let's set this to be a mono channel. And I'm going to set this to be 2.006 for our jitter. And so we would have a ID with this. So our scatter shapes outputs an ID mask. This is resolution independent here. So if we change up to 2048, it does not change our IDs. And that's where this is something that you would not particularly use in this case because you have these IDs. But if you're building something like your own shapes using the SDF nodes, then you would not necessarily have an ID output. So to generate an ID to create masks, we would need to use something like the segment by connectivity node. So we would pipe our mono channel into this segment by connectivity, and this would give us an ID that we can then use an ID to mask to generate a mask. We just select our different IDs here, and we get a mask out of that. Now, if I change our resolution with this, it's going to completely wreck that mask, because if we take a look at our segment by connectivity, you can see that as I change our resolution, it's going to change the ID numbers, which makes this ID to mask something that's not really going to work for a procedural situation. So it also changes on a per cook basis, I believe. But one way to get around this is by using this collapse IDs. And that's just going to collapse all of these IDs down, and it should make it a little bit more stable, but there's going to be situations where this doesn't actually work. So if I jump up to 2K here, you can see that we have most of our IDs staying the same, but you can see that some of those have actually changed. And that's happening for a couple of different reasons. Number one, the reason that these IDs change in general is because the way this segment by connectivity works is it's going to take the bottom left pixel of your islands here, and it's going to sort based off of that. The other thing that's happening is really shown here with these two circles. At 2K resolution, there is a break between these. There is a gap in between these. And so they get different IDs assigned to them. But if I go to 1K, you can see that they are connected there. And so they get the same ID connected to them. So this collapse ID has no impact on that, because at different resolutions, these shapes have physically changed, and we have the different islands. There is no longer a connectivity between these islands. So it's going to give it a different ID because they aren't connected. So what I did to get around this is by creating a new node called the ID sample. And I'm going to make this part of my HouMats release, my HouMats Utilities release on Gumroad. You can go ahead and download it. I'll leave a link in the description for that. This is a full HDA. It's not a HDA, an ND HDA. It is a full release HDA. So you can use it in all your commercial projects or whatever. But the way that this works is we're going to take a segment by connectivity, or an ID input, basically, and we're going to kind of create a mask that is similar to this ID to mask, but it's going to be resolution independent, with one little caveat, which is the same issue that we have here. So we'll talk about how we can get around that here in just a moment, because it's not really an impact that you're going to see in your projects if you do it correctly. So the way this works is we have a parameter here that is number of sample positions. There we can go from 0 all the way up to 20 positions that we can sample the IDs from and generate a mask based off of that. So we've got a few different outputs here. We've got an ID output, we've got our mask output, and then we've got a preview output, which just makes it a little bit easier to select your individual IDs that you want to preserve here, if you want to make a mask out of. So I've got a preview radius here that is going to control the radius of the circle for all of our previews. We have the opacity for that. We can also change the color for that if we want as well. And that's just gonna be layered over our IDs here. So let's go ahead and select, some of these. So let's maybe select this one. Let's create a couple more here. And let's select, let's say this one, and then let's do this one because we'll need this here in a moment anyways. So as long as we are selecting a point, which this one's probably not the best, but it's not going to make a difference here. But if I change this to make sure it's more in the center of our islands, as long as we're not selecting something towards the outside that's going to change at a different resolution, which you shouldn't be anyways, select in the middle of your IDs, you're going to be completely fine. Now, as I said, the one little caveat is if your islands change. So you can see we have our mask output here. And as I adjust our resolution, we're going to lose this one simply because that ID, we're no longer sampling the ID. The ID has changed. They're no longer the same ID here. So as long as when we go to set up our mask, or what IDs that we want to sample here, our ID sample, if we just set this to our final resolution where we're going to have these islands that are going to be no longer impacted by our resolution there, they're not going to conjoin based off of our resolution. We can add another point there. We can just select both of these. So now we have both of these that we're going to be preserving, and we will be able to go from the different resolutions now. If I set this back to our mask, I can go back down to 1K. We get both of those. And then obviously saw at 4K and at 2K, we still have both of those being selected. And if I just take that away, you can see where that starts to show up there. And so we get both of those because we are sampling based off of position now instead of our IDs. And again, our IDs are changing here. And especially if I uncheck this collapse by IDs, as we start to change resolutions, you see basically all of these IDs change. But if I look at our ID sample here, our mask that's being generated based off of this, you can see that it has 0 impact on our output here, because we're not sampling the IDs themselves, we're sampling the positions for where those IDs actually lie. So that is how we can use that. We can also use, we can invert it, but we can also use points, which is a way that you can work a little bit more procedurally and do some cool things. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select this segment by connectivity. I'm going to copy that. Let's do a SOP geometry. And we're going to feed this in some points. So let's do a trace node here. And we're going to trace that COP. Now, make sure that you have this collapse IDs checked off, because for whatever reason, it just kills this trace node. The trace node doesn't like it when its collapse IDs is on. So keep that off. But by default, this is going to be from -0.5 to 0.5. So let's scale this up to be 2 by 2, and we get our points here. Sometimes, I don't know why this wants to kind of align differently. But if we do an extract centroid here, with this set to primitives, we now get the center, a point at the center of each of those primitives. So if I wire this into our points here and look at our ID sample, this is what I was talking about with things aligning a little bit off and weird. If I set this to just like 1.99, we now select those actual points on our layer there. So we get all of our points here, and then we can do some cool things. So if I jump back in here and do a group node, I can set this to be points, uncheck the base group and do like a random chance here. And then I can do a blast, and we can blast out that group, and we can just affect however many we want to delete. So we can do some interesting things with that. As long as we're feeding it some points, it's going to select based off of those points in our in our IDs there. So, so cool things that you can do with that. Now let's take a look at the actual production scenario where I ran into this. It was with this little sci-fi floor here. And I made a little note here. So the segment by connectivity stays the same at 1K and 2K, but at 4K, the IDs change because of the issue that I was talking about here. So I just selected some different pieces there. And as I change the resolution here, it's going to recook. Take just a second. You can see that we now get a different output here. Let's go back to 2K. And let's see how this actually affects our color channel here. So this is the color channel of the texture that I was creating. And you can see as I up this to 4K, we're going to have this totally shift in the colors. So we get a completely different selection here, which is obviously not what we want. And so that's where this node really starts to shine, is because I can wire this in as our mask. And because I have this ID sample set to the different positions here, if I look at our preview, you can see I'm selecting the center of these little ID islands here, each one of these 4. And so that's not going to change based off of our resolution. And so when we go to a higher resolution with that instead of our ID mask that's just being generated based off of the segment by connectivity, we're going to get a stable mask there. And so we get a nice little final texture. It's going to take a minute to cook here because it is a decently sized graph. We get a nice texture that is resolution independent. I initially set this up with that segment by connectivity. There's a whole bunch of them around this scene, and it caused a whole number of issues. And that's what really led me down this path. And I had submitted a help ticket and said, you know, we need to have a stable way of getting this this segment by connectivity to be stable based off of the resolution. And the response that we got was it's not really possible because of just how it's actually going to work. And looks like my scene here is not wanting to work in itself. But we get a stable output from this node. That's a little workaround for this. Like I said, it is going to be available in the utilities release of HouMats, so you can grab that on Gumroad. I am currently in the process of trying to get them all converted over from indie HDAs to full HDAs. So this one is actually a full HDA. There is no indie. It's not an HDA LC. It's just an HDA. And I'm working on getting the rest of those converted over as well. So keep an eye out for that if you are interested in that. But anyways, hopefully this has helped you out. I've put this node together because it really solves an issue that I think is a really big issue for creating procedural textures, depending on what you're doing. So download it if it's something that interests you. But anyways, thank you guys for watching and have a good day.